welcome to the June edition of our channeling. Okay, dear ones, here we are. Isn't this exciting? Solstice is on the way. So, before we start, I am going to do the usual meditative practice or grounding. I'd like you all to imagine a grounding cord going from of crystalline, whether it's pink crystal or just plain clear crystal. Just imagine it going from the center of the earth all the way up through the room that you're in. So you're inside a very large crystal going all the way up into the sun. And anything that is out of harmony with you or out of harmony in general that's floating around, that isn't grounded, let it all get swept right up into the sun or sucked down into the earth. But I actually prefer being sucked up by the sun because, you know, the sun can just handle things so much more easily than our poor little planet can right now. And now that that's done, I'd like you to imagine yourself sitting on this, wherever you are, if you're seated, if you're at a desk or on a couch or in a chair, or just relaxing somewhere. Just imagine your butt being on the surface of something. So that's just helping you ground even more. And now I'm going to ask that you run the white Christed light and let it fill you up. Feel it coming into your hands, coming in, flowing into all parts of you. Now, one of the things about the white Christed light is that it's such high level energy that it allows you to remove things that are much lower energy vibration with almost no effort whatsoever. In fact, the effort's going to be that you're going to have to, if you want to hold on to it, or if you need to feel that you don't want to move forward, that you allow yourself to, that this white Christed light will just work through you and start cleaning out all those little places inside that need to be released, all the feelings you need to have released, all of the stuff that's ready to go, and lay down at a vibration level that attracts something very positive and healing and loving inside of you. And so if you can imagine this white Christed light going through each of your chakras, giving it a spring cleaning of magnificent proportions at every juncture, at every level, at the deepest level of your being. So not only in your physical body, your emotional body, but going into your spiritual body, going into all of the past lives and future lives and parallel lives, going into your oversoul and cleaning out everything in the wheel of your oversoul, letting everything be scrubbed and cleaned and embraced and welcomed into this higher vibration level. Because after all, that is really what you want. What you really are desiring is to have this be at a level much, much higher than you have been existing at. And even if it's just for the few minutes that you are running this white Christed light right now, and even for the few minutes of our conversation, then you are doing something really wonderful for yourself. Maybe your energy will drop, but it's okay if it does. You know, for a few minutes you've had something better, more wonderful, more expansive and healing. Okay, dear ones, when you close your hands and you just let yourself feel really relaxed, really open, and since Arian didn't send out notices, we didn't get any questions, and that's okay, because at this point I would like to talk about solstice. Solstice is going to be coming up within a week, and so, or very close to a week. And you know, the things that are really important about these times, whether it's solstice or equinox, but solstices in particular, that's why they're so powerful, is because it's really a shifting of energies. You know, the winter solstice, it's expansive, and the summer solstice is retractive. That things are opening up to possibilities, and in the summer, things are closing down. But of course, we then go through a very long summer and fall, and then we get to equinox, and everything's balanced for a moment, and then we get back down to winter. So there was a slight crash. You know, I find those kinds of things that happen very interesting. For example, when I'm doing channelings with clients, and the phone conversation, there's a lot of static, or the phone call drops, particularly when it's continual. I know that it's not because of the bad connection. It's because something is going on that is very hard for someone to hear. Either it's the person who is having the session, or because we're working with other people's energies around them, that blocks, that tends to cause something to drop the call. So, you know, it's outside interference very often, or inner interference from entities that don't want you to hear what's going to be said, or don't like the idea of you cleaning them out of their system. So I find it interesting that we dropped just as I was talking about solstice, because what I'm talking about here is that we are invited to let go of things out of our lives. And whether it's something as simple as inner stuff, I let go of from now till winter solstice, when I'm ready to pick on something. I let go of lack, I let go of misery, I let go of depression. And it may not start instantly, but the fact that you are making that declaration says right away that you are putting it out, that it's time for things to go. You can also say, I'm letting go of relationships with people who no longer serve me, relationships, couples relationships, or love relationships that are no longer loving, or that no longer serve. And when I say serve me, it's not that, sorry, we have an itchy nose. It's not that we're talking about relationships that are violent or anything like that, but that you no longer feel nurtured by, or you're no longer nurturing. Lots of times people have relationships that just go on many, many years longer than they should have, simply because you were lazy, or you don't wish to rock the boat, but you don't feel nurtured, you don't feel loved, you don't feel served. You know, it might be time to let those go. Relationships with family members. May not necessarily wish to get rid of your family members, but you can get rid of the kinds of behaviors around these family members that do not serve you. And you can stop behaviors from other family members that do not nurture you, or that do not work for you. So really, that's very important. So this is a time to, when you do your solstice basket, and I would like to suggest, let me finish saying my thought, and then I'll describe the solstice basket. So when you do your solstice basket, you're going to put into it and then take out of it all of the things that no longer serve you, that no longer nurture, that no longer give you joy or happiness. And if there are nothing in there, that means that, you know, you can get rid of the things that are making you feel miserable too, or unhappy. You know, lots of times we don't even realize what these things are. Now let me talk about the solstice basket. And you can make it very simple. You know, in a lot of Indian cultures, they take pieces of cloth, and they and they've put in various little trinkets and tie it up and hold it until the next ceremony. Well, in this case, what I'd like you to do is imagine you can get a square of cloth, and in it write pieces of paper. And on these pieces of paper, write down the things that you're ready to let go of and get rid of over the next 6 months. Sloth, anger, depression, lack, behaviors of relatives that don't serve me, relationships that do not nurture myself or the other party, and this is all in and around you. And so, as you write all those things down, then you close the bundle. And if you do this now before solstice, it's good. But once you start, but you can do it at solstice as well, and then hold on to it. And then in the solstice, during the ceremony, just charge this bundle. Charge it with energy. Call down the energy of the sun. Call up the energy of the earth. Call in the energies of the winds. Call in the energies of the archangels. Call in the energies of the gods and goddesses that you resonate to. And then ask them to infuse this with all of their energy, all of their help, all of their willingness. And then every week, open it up and take out a piece of paper. These are little pieces of paper, like the kinds of paper you find in fortune cookies. They're small. I don't want to get rid of this. I want to get rid of that. And then take it and burn it. Or in some cases, if you do not wish to use a flame, because in California we have fire danger, you can wash it away in the sink. Soak it with water. Watch as the ink bleeds away, and then let it disintegrate and flush it down the sink. That is the kind of thing that can be done. You don't have to do one every week. You can do one when you feel it. But if you start by every week, it gives you a routine. It reminds you that you're doing this process. And in doing this process, you are also not only doing it in the basket, but in yourself. Because if you have infused this basket with all of these energies, if you take out, for example, lack, and could be lack of money, lack of love, lack of relationships, lack of happiness, lack of anything, lack of home, lack of job, lack. Who knows what lack is? It's just you don't have. And if you take that out and say, I'm getting rid of this, clean it up, burn it, wash it off, get rid of it, it's not only going to use the energy that's on it from that basket, it's also going to be pulling all of those things out from inside of you that hold on to lack. That's really important to do. And the more that you do it, the more simply that it's done, the more easy it becomes to release. And when you release, in fact, you might even have several lack of job, lack of home, lack of money. And if you do each one of them, each one of them will become more and more magnetized to release. So by the time you have gotten all the way down to winter solstice, your little solstice basket should be empty and ready for next solstice's requests, which are, come to me, bring to me, let me increase, let me have. And so finally, and then when you've done your one, tie it up put it on your altar, or put it someplace which is not going to have fingers all over it. I mean, fingers from other people. Because I know some of you may have people come and visit and, oh, what's this? Oh, you don't want that. You need to have it in a place where it's only you are going to be seeing it. And then you can finish it. When you're finished at the end, whenever you have finished it completely, you can shake it out and like it ready for the next time. And if you feel that there's stuff that you haven't put into your solstice basket, you can then open it up and throw more things in. Then, again, magnetize all of your helpers, sun and earth, winds, archangels, gods and goddesses, all of them to come and help you release. Because, remember, all of these people are here, all of these beings are here, I'm here, and so is everyone else, to make, in this work, to make sure that we have people letting go of things that do not serve them and embracing the things that do. Okay, so, finally, by the way, are there any questions? Okay. So finally, I'm also going to say something about, you can also use solstice to this letting go of things on a more cosmic level. I focused on personal things for you, but things that are out of balance. Remember, I've talked about in the last 2 months about, I gave an exercise in rebalancing the Earth's energy. And in the same way, that's what this is all about, is when you let go of things that are not serving you, that do not work, you are trying to bring balance into yourself. And so as these other stuff goes out, as the lack goes out, for example, you need to fill yourself up with balance, with light, with love, and then imagine that spreading around every place that you know. So if you're sitting in San Francisco, for example, and you have just done this, and you fill yourself up then with the sunlight of love and light, imagine it filling the whole San Francisco Bay. And then if you're really ambitious, you can fill the whole of California. And then if you're super ambitious, you can fill the whole of North America. And then if you just think you're just so beyond belief, you can fill the whole earth with it, with that light and love. And the more that that's done, the more healing will happen, the more love will happen, the more transformation and evolution will happen. So that's what I had to say this time. And since there are no questions, I think that will be it. So, dear ones, I know many of you listen to this after I have talked. Arian gets comments all the time from people who have listened to it. They may not comment on Facebook, or they do. But at any rate, so I know this could bring up stuff for a lot of you, and it can be a lot of fun. One more thing I'm going to say about the basket. You can actually get a real basket, a small basket, put things in. But it's more like a pouch, I should say. I've said basket. But unless it's a very small basket, a pouch is what you're going to be looking for at. Okay, and make it bright. Don't make it a dull color. Make it a bright color. If you have bright colors, make it that way. So, finally, I would like you now to put out your hands so we can run the white Christed light. And let that go through you. Let that release anything that came up. Harmonize for you everything that's going on with you. Let that feel inside of you. Everything that needs to be brought into balance from this, coming into balance easily and effortlessly. And I am also thinking of doing actual group meetings once or twice a month. Arian and I have been discussing that. So actually, this is a Facebook meeting, but I'm talking about face-to-face meetings at a meeting place. So if anyone knows in the Bay Area, East Bay, a nice place to do this, let me know. Let Arian know, I should say. And I can set this up. And this is, of course, by donation or free. People can come, ask their questions. My service to the community. And so, I guess that's it. Close your hands and thank you, dear ones.